And you're still watching news today on Journeys. If Kwame Nkrumah had not been overthrown in 1966, Ghana would have been one of the best democracies in the country, in the world. That's according to the chairman of the Convention People's Party, Professor Edmond Dele. Marking the 51st overthrow of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the CPP attributed all of Ghana's current problems to the tragic event that occurred that day. He says all promises being made by the NPP are not new, since Nkrumah had it all planned but could never see it materialize.
When Osajifo was overthrown, what happened? And these investments that he did, the roads, the Tema Road, these roads we are making, are they able to survive this? 50 years, the roads are still there. And those that we make now, after 2-3 months, they are done. The harbor, and even the atomic energy he's talking about. 50 years ago, nobody thought of it. Osajifo, Dr. Kwame thought of it. So imagine if this man had remained, and the women too. The women, Nkrumah believed in having women to be in responsible positions. And you know, he brought this affirmative thing and sent ladies to parliament. So there is really nothing new that anybody is doing now. He was the right person at the right time. And it was just unfortunate that the colonial people knew that if they had allowed Kwame Nkrumah to live, we would have beaten most of these countries now. Malaysia, all this, Singapore, they came and learned from us. They took the development plan, and where are they now? They are palm oil, they use our palm oil to develop. And we are now sitting down, still begging people to come and teach us how to industrialize. He said, when I was at school at that time, we had what we call the Achimota sandals. So if people tell you that Nkrumah never dies, they mean it. And they knew about the progression. If he had continued, he would have been a threat to these new colonial. That's why they got rid of him. Who knows? That was probably why they asked him to go to Hanoi to bring about peace. And they clandestinely arranged with these people and killed him.
Well, we are joined in the studio now by the man himself to tell us more on this. Hello, Doctor. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us on News Today.
Thank you.
So, Prof, can you give us more details regarding Kwame Nkrumah's botched dream for the country?
Well, we were young at that time, but the first thing he made us to understand was that he was a leader not only for Ghana, but the whole of Africa and the world at large. And he had his plan for Ghana. He wanted us first and foremost to be a leading power among the world of nations, but knowing very well that Ghana was a small country. At that time, about 5-6 million people. He said, look, our economy depends upon our being able to plan, work hard. You know, you had, in those days, you were not born, work and happiness, and telling us that we should rely on our own strength. We should rely on our ideas, even though we could chat with other nations, but we should rely on our own strength. So, in a short period of 9 years, you know what Osajifo did? In the north, where I come from, there was only one graduate for Upper East, Upper West Northern region. That was in 1957. In 9 years, schools were built all over the place in the north. And of course, don't forget during the colonial days, northerners were supposed to remain as hewers of wood and drawers of water. And we were not even supposed to get in contact with the southerners. But when Nkrumah came, he said, no way, let me go. My government should be charged by the welfare of the people. That means the number of schools I'm able to build, water that I can bring, electricity. He made it very clear. Judge me by that. And he did that in 9 years. The development he made, the colonial powers who have stayed with us over 100 years never did that. And of course, they knew this was a man who had planned for Africa. And he actually made his party a grassroots party, involving everybody, not a few of us. We, the so-called elites. So we as in the party, we abhor elitism, the ordinary people, and they are in the majority. So that's why I was saying that as for grassroots democracy, it was initiated by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Okay.
It was after he had left that now we came back. Even those who did the coups are now saying people's democracy. But Osajifo started it all. Because in every village, even at that time, where I'm from, Nando, Laura, Jirapa, each one was a district. He created these districts, and now we are coming to say we are creating districts. If he were not overthrown, the plan, he believed that development should go to the doorsteps of the ordinary people. He insisted on education. Now everybody is talking about education. He saw that was the first thing that you had to do, to let people know their left and right so that they could take part in the political dispensation of the country.
Much as what the NPP may be saying may not necessarily be new.
Yes.
Is this what you're saying, not an indication or a clear admission that indeed the party is continuing with where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left off?
Well, if that's, why don't you get the original people instead of getting people who are now coming to? Well, you need somebody who has gone through it and a believer in it. That is what we are saying. The ideology that he left for us, we must believe in ourselves, that we are capable of managing our own affairs. We can cooperate with other countries, but we should have belief in ourselves. The Ghanaian entrepreneur, where is he? Most of our factories now are in the hands of the foreigners again. And that is not part of his vision. His vision was that Ghanaians take control of the economy. Look at our mines, our resources. They are being plundered. And look at the laws which are even coming to place. You give a foreigner 10 years, free, no tax. And then their profits. Do they have them to develop our country? We know of it well. You don't need to know. When we were having problems with our monetary system, these foreign banks closed down, didn't they? They left. So they are not here to stay with us. That is why we believe that if Nkrumah had stayed, and we had understood him, and everybody knows that we didn't understand the philosophy of the man. That is why now that he's dead and buried, the whole world is looking, as I said, some universities in the world now are studying his philosophy, Nkrumah's.
So, Prof, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is not here with us, and you wouldn't want a situation where we are crying over spilled milk.
Yes.
CPP is 51 years. What can Ghanaians expect you to do differently to improve the fortunes of the country, although you are not in power?
No, of course. Definitely our philosophy is clear. And as we go around, we talk to the people. And he made it very clear to us. We go to the people. Our last campaign probably is the only party.
Apart from philosophy, what practical things are you doing, action, for people to see that this is what CPP is doing?
We go to the ground, we talk to them, and we let them know that if they give us the chance and we come, we are not only going to start with where he left, we will improve upon it.
It's
because
not,
you have the ICT now, we have things. So definitely we'll use we regard modern technology where he didn't have at that time. We see it. So the CPP, we are talking, we are educating the people, we are talking to them. And as we talk, the youth are now coming around. Formerly, the youth didn't understand because of the propaganda we had. There is a dead party. We are a historical society.
So, sorry to butt in, Prof. You're saying if they give you the power, but you don't necessarily have to be in power to make changes.
Well, we contribute, and the contribution should have been our parliamentary candidates. But what has happened?
Because the CPP may not have made yourselves attractive enough for people to vote for you.
What is happening is that our politics is linked with cash. Only the people who can afford cash. Organization is expensive. And despite our poor financial situation, but you can see that we organize very well, and the people came to us, and we are praying. We are giving our ideas, we talk to the people, we talk to people who come, and the young people learn from us, and they go into industry and implement them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in power before your ideas are, maybe, I think, because we are talking about it, and making them to know, that is why these parties are using the NDC. What did NDC do? They just looked at the factories we had, Kwame Nkrumah, and they're reviving them. So we are not regretting, we are even happy that they are doing it. And it is a sign that Ghanaians go for the original party, and we'll do it better.
We're ending here. Thank you very much, Professor Dele. And Professor Edmond Dele is the chairman of the Convention People's Party. Moving on, Upper West Regional Minister Suleimana Al-Hassan has assured the people of the region that he will do his utmost best to work to bring the people closer to each other than dividing them. He noted that the task to develop the region is more than the issues of ethnicity or religion, adding that the only reason why God created the different ethnic groups together and put them in one particular space is for them to be each other's neighbors. Addressing sectional heads in the Upper West region, Al-Hassan Suleimana said he will work with all the people in the region without any form of discrimination. Rafiq Salam reports.
The new Upper West Regional Minister, Suleimana Al-Hassan, was met at Bamahu at the outskirts of the Wa municipality by a sea of MPP supporters before being driven around some principal streets in the Wa township. He was later taken to the Upper West Presidential Lodge, where he met sectional heads in the region, including leadership of political parties, religious leaders, and security heads. Upper West Regional Chairman of MPP, Alhaji Abubakar Abdul Rahman Short, who introduced the regional minister to the people, thanked the people for the rousing welcome and pleaded with them to be patient with the new government and the regional minister to enable them deliver. Upper West Regional Minister Suleiman Al-Hassan noted that after 60 years of attainment of independence, very little success has been chalked by the country, and that explains the reason why he wants to hurry with President Nana Akufo-Addo to develop the Upper West region.
Yes, so watching news today. When we come back, Emmanuel Abuajiri will join us with the latest in the world of business. Stay with us.